I'm telling you, it's not me. They've already caught him. I'll see you in the dressing room. Hello and welcome to Never Mind the Buzzcocks. Bill's first guest is the flame-haired temptress from 80s soft rockers to power. It's Carol Decker.
Don't push too far, your dreams are China in your hand.
To power took their name from a Vulcan high priestess. She wasn't in a lot of episodes of Star Trek, but you may remember she famously defeated Bill's granddad in the Romulan Nonce War episode. Bill's second guest is the po-faced comic turned game show host Jimmy Carr. Contestants on Jimmy's show Distraction have had to eat lamb's testicles, be electrocuted, wrestle and urinate in public. They got the idea for the show from watching Rich and Judy's honeymoon videos.
Oh, can I just say, did you see Richard and Judy talking about chimps? I have to tell you this. What it was they said, today we're discussing the fact that only humans and chimpanzees commit murder. Right? And so he had an anthropologist on, and this is what he said to her. He said, how have the chimps got away with it for so long?
Bill's first guest has just launched his solo career after appearing in Fame Academy. It's Alistair Griffin.
Bring it on, tell your friends to come along.
You may remember Alistair got to the final heat of Fame Academy where he was beaten by a lesbian. I would have watched it if I'd known it was that sort of show. I just thought it was like the kids doing cover versions. His second guest is a journalist, broadcaster and music impresario. It's Mancunian motormouth Tony Wilson. Tony's often been accused of being pretentious, but in his defence he says, I'd love to be thin, intense and serious, like Prince Andrei Volkomsky, but I'm much more like Pierre Bezukov. As usual, I've got no idea what he's on about, but then again, I don't watch Hollyoaks. Tony and Alistair, Phil's team, ladies and gentlemen. We start the show with Inspector Rock, Bill, Jimmy and Carol. This one's for you. Guitarist, pianist, misogynist, broken wrist. And #1 in the Guinness Book of Hit Women, Ike Turner. Ike Turner there with Tina back in 1964. But how did misuse of a telephone get him arrested in 1976? Ike's been arrested many times, obviously, but specifically, how did a telephone get him into trouble?
Did someone use it to phone the police?
I'm going to give you a point for that, because if it went to trial, I think you'd win.
It's hardly likely to, but thank you.
But I'm going to take it away. I gave you a point, you got a laugh, you could have let it alone. No.
I was being po-faced.
Yes.
I am quite po-faced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As in that thing you used to put under the bed to piss in.
Is that the po?
Yes.
Po.
Po, yeah.
Right, is that why I didn't realise that was
You
a
didn't think
derivation?
it was a Teletubbies reference, did you?
I was secretly hoping.
Right. Ike Turner.
Ike Turner. No.
He was receiving a blowjob in the car and he tried to explain that it was hands-free and he was over 21.
1976. I'm just pleased he had a mobile phone in 1976.
I hadn't thought of that.
Is Tapau the northern name for your band?
No, that's Pow.
Can we just run this thing? This is, I think he's actually hypnotising in it. Now, you are a chicken. I don't want to be a chicken. No, you are a chicken. And now, pretend that the floor is very hot. Oh!
Well, the lyrics in that song were, was it ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah? Right, she wrote that then, didn't she?
She might have done. It was a Wurzels tribute record.
Are you impugning the Wurzels?
No, I was saying that ooh ah. Are you telling me the Wurzels never said ooh ah?
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
They started out as a German expressionist synth band.
And their expression was ooh ah.
Yeah, they sold out, they went all ooh ah. So, did he misuse the phone?
No, he got done for normal use of a phone.
Did he defraud the phone company?
Yes, you're right, but of course you're right, because you've pretty much guessed everything possible with the phone so far. In 1976, Ike Turner was arrested for tampering with his phone line so he could make long-distance calls without being charged. And if it wasn't for Ike's phone votes, Jim Davidson would never have won New Faces that year. Right from the start, Ike and Tina's marriage was notoriously violent. The first item on her wedding list was a gum shield. And the ceremony started with a weigh-in. Oh, Tony and Alistair, here's your question.
Busy in the head, now I'm feeling blue. Things you say, well, maybe they're true.
It's Pete, knob-twiddling, fuzzbox fingering, F-hole bothering, king of the tiny pickups, Townsend.
Can't explain, I think it's love. Trying to say to you, when I feel blue. Can't explain, yeah, hear what I'm saying, girl.
That was the Who with a Can't Explain, but how did Pete Townsend get into trouble with the law with a hearse?
Did he nick one, but like during a funeral? He was very upset. Pete
That's a really slow getaway. 4 miles an hour, out of respect.
And that look there, that look says, I wish they'd invent the internet.
Was he arrested in the car park of PC World with a hearse full of PCs? Could you burn these for me, please? I'm anticipating a bit of bother.
I think it goes to not very PC World.
That was the irony, wasn't it? The arresting officer, Pete Townsend, was actually called PC World. PC World and DI Box.
During Keith's funeral, did he just, like, you know, jump in and drive the hearse into a swimming pool? Because it's what Keith would have wanted.
Exactly. Does the crime involve Jimmy Savile?
No.
Because Savile was a very astute businessman, and maybe he had a fleet of hearses. Savile cabs. Pete, we got to pick up, you see, young man over there. Now get in the hearse.
I don't mean anything, does it? They're just always delightful Jimmy Savile impressions.
Hearse. Townsend.
They were obviously speeding. We're talking the Who, aren't we? We're talking Fade Away, which which is the speed stutter. So they were obviously speeding in the hearse.
Full of drugs, in a hearse.
Not necessarily, obviously, because I would have, by this point, have said yes, correct 2 points.
No, you wouldn't.
So, well, I would.
Because you're a miserable cow.
Oh, that Wilson's got a tongue on him.
I'm only speaking for the audience. Sorry, Mark. This is very tough. I mean, Alistair, their most famous album was Who Live at Leeds. I wonder whether it's to do with the Magic Bus. Is it the Magic Bus?
But isn't it the Magic Bus an imaginary? Doesn't that just mean smoking dope? You're on the Magic Bus.
It's one of those, like, Little Help from My Friends, is it? It's one of those metaphors.
Yes.
Yes.
Is this any nearer how he got nicked doing something with a hearse?
No, but it's nearer a bit of literary discussion, which is how we began this programme.
OK, crack on.
So how do you think Dostoevsky would have approached the metaphor of the hearse and Pete Townsend? Look at him, bored. He was on the big rig doing Winnie the Pooh. Suddenly now, oh, it's so boring, speaking of literature.
I bet they stole a hearse to get to a gig.
No, it's actually a really interesting fact. In 1964, Townsend's vintage hearse, which he owned, was towed away from its parking place near Clarence House at the request of the Queen Mother, because it reminded her of the funeral of her husband, King George VI. A date which was made even worse for her when her daughter said, "Guess what, Mum? I got a new job. I'm Queen." If only Dad was here to see it. Oh. The Who's John Entwistle used to regularly pay his favourite hooker $100 a time to dance for him in a Union Jack bikini. And I thought no one had paid a dancing trollop in a Union Jack bikini since the Spice Girls split up. What do I know? Let's start the intros now, Bill and Carol. There was something for you to do towards Jimmy.
OK, let's assume the position. Right. OK.